is charging up. Initiating slam core protocol. Metallic bass stabs pulse to sync with warning alarms. Savage off rolls with robotic delay effects. Layers of risers, one smooth synth, one glitching instant back. Percussion introduce a military style snare cans. And with the bass slam that echoes into the drop. Snapping enemy syncopating bass slam. Short chest punching heads, lead synth sharp staccato block with distortion cutting through the mix. Kick and snare feel like battering rams. Every 8 bars glitch break fills, sounding like the protocol recalibrating mid-combat scene. Lulling bass, we builds tension. Robotic voice whispers fragmented command codes. Reverse symbols wells merge into mechanical reload sounds. Double layer bass, one deep suppy, one mid-range with sawtooth crits. Aggressive snare layering with metallic overtone. The 4-bar glitch breakdowns keep the drop unpredictable. Bass punch affects a hit like sonic explosions every 16 beats. Layers of risers one sound, leaving filtered bass crowd fading away. Phase with the final seismic slam that reverberates into silence. Drop the links of flick like tectonic plates shifting. Burst metallic echoes in the distance. Low cowboy whistle sample heavily bits crushed. Single kick hit every 2 bars, teasing the earthquake to come. Rotting seismic bass activity detected. Snare rolls with distorted delay building tension. Binary click, percussion bouncing left to right in stereo. Dark western style guitar pitched and mangled. Reverse bass swells lead into the first quake. Main bass quake, layer crawl bass splitting like a shockwave. Glitch out drum groove with syncopated snare smacks. Upbeat siren stabs, bad white for chaos effect. Before the chord with distance. Friendly fire glitch fills every 8 bars like bullets in a digital tool. Baseline cuts to a minimal low hum. Dusty western guitar returns clean and atmospheric. Footsteps, sound effects echo in the distance. Falling for the brunt before the quake returns. Same rubber bass built with extra pitch and space distortion with double kicks in some sections. Digital chain whip backs to exit transitions. Brief halftime section at 2/4 snapping back into full speed. Bass fades into low distant rumble. Guitar echoes slowly decay. Final glitch burst and sub hit, then silence. Dark western style guitar riff pitched and mangled. Reverse bass swells lead into the first quake. Main bass quake, layer crop bass clating like a shockwave. Budget drum groove with syncopated snare smacks. Offbeat siren stabs, pad white for chaos effect. Rapid fire glitch fills every 8 bars like bullets in a digital tool. Baseline cuts to minimal low hum. Dusty western guitar returns clean and atmospheric. Footsteps, sound effects echo in the distance. Run before the quake returns. Distant digital surf sounds like an ocean made of something. Heavy bass pulses at 60 BPM, gradually doubling the tempo. Robotic broadcast, system breach wave detected. Soft shimmering arcs slowly get corrupted with mid-crush effects. Layer kick snare pattern that skips like a broken loop. Distorted vocal chops glitch in and out. Rising synth rise up with intentional error skips every 2 beats. Final beat drops out into silence, then impact. Massive, wobbling bassline that constantly fizzes and cuts off. Glitchy, sauce modulated with random gate effects, mimicking crashing digital waves. Clutch burst, shattering hits, machine gun hi-hats. Every 16 bars sound down a wave, smashing against the firewall. Dark, filtered bass hung with reverse effects. Echoed female AI voice, glitch wave, playing off the curve until total chaos. ends with a single distorted crash, echoing into nothingness. Distorted static and digital interference sounds, creeping synth pads with bite crush effects, robotic voice, initiating jammering, sub-bass pulses slowly build tension, rapid glitch percussion and syncopated hi-hat center, rising cymbals of pitch modulation, rising cymbals of pitch modulation and bit crush, vocal to touch of pulsely as distorted and synths, stunning silence before a drop for impact, regressive bass growls layered with glitch effects, magic caves and sappy snares driving forward. Complex glitch synth leads with heavy distortion. Chaotic rhythmic fills and stutters intensify energy. Filter pads and ambient digital noise. Counter-address systems scramblings with heavy modulation and fast high-end rolls and layered snare leading jammers. So bass tones are slowly build a shimmer. Distorted synth sweep through with sharp pitch bends. Ends with a glitch crash and fading static. Ambient glitch fades and digital crackles. Go jam complete. Ends on a low distorted beep.
Static crackles mixed with radio tuning noises. Sparkless glitchy synth trucks layered over soft filtered ads. A first and speed locked. Green signal. Spoils of bass hum underneath. Gradual introduction logic, very hi-hats and syncopated percent. Rising glitch of hi-hats with pitch and bit crush effect. Modulated vocal chops scattered rhythmically. First, sing sweet before the drop. Complex turning bassline with glitchy rush rate. Crisp kick, the snare hit, punch through the mix. Lead synths work with distortion, rapid filtering. Stereo glitch effects simulate corrupted transmission. Soft hands with filter, with creating breathing space. Robotic voice whisper signals stabilizing. Intensified glitch, bass with layered rhythm, complex lead, rapid fire hi-hats, and syncopated snares. Shifting and modulation. And so with a cascading glitch, outros and radio static. Signal loss transmission needed. Ends on a low digital buzz. Gradual interruption of jittery hi-hats and syncopated percussion. Rising glitch or hijack skills with pitch bends and bits crush effects. Modulated vocal chops scattered rhythmically. Brief pause with reverse synth sweep before the drop. Complex stuttering bassline with glitch modulates. Lead synth works with distortion and rapid filtering. Stereo glitch effects simulate a corrupted transmission. Stereo glitch effects simulate a corrupted transmission. Soft pads and filtered bass create a breathing space. Robotic voice whisper signal stabilizing. Sparse with passive clicks and subtle glitch checks. Intensified glitch bass with layered rhythm, complex lead, rapid fire hi-hats, and syncopated snares. Synth melodies morph with pitch shifting and modulation. Ends with a cascading glitch, outro, grading glitch textures, and radio static. Final voice transmission, ended, ended, ended. Transmission ended. Ends on a low digital buzz. Rising heat, distortion effects, sizzling synth text. Deep, pulsing bass undertone like a reactor warming up. Metallic clicks and electronic hisses build tension. Whispered voice sample warning overheat detected. Crisp hi-hats and snare rolls ramp up the energy. Synth power fats and pitch risers and filter sweeps. Layer rising noise and glitch effects. Sudden ends with a massive bass slam fading into noise. Tune and fade mimicking a cooling system. Final electronic hums and fade static. Ends on a digital beat. Bass loop intensifies with added layers and modulation. Faster percussion rolls and complex glitch effects. Sharp synth leads weaving rhythmically through the drop. Ends with a massive bass slam fading into noise. Assisted tune and fade mimicking a cooling system. Final electronic hums and fade static. Ends on a low digital beep. Pretty digital noise with crush static bursts, dark, filtered, synth pads swirling ominously.
Low rumbling, sub bass slowly rising.
Whispered vocal sample, afterbird, activate, afterbird, 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 afterbird.
Rapid hi-hats and glitch percussion enter with rhythm stutters. Invertulated with percussion distortion. Holding bass resolution with static crackle. Crackle, 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 crackle. Sudden silence before the drop. But deferring a rhythmic action. Heavy kicks and sharp snares driving the rhythm. Aggressive synth leads with sharp modulation and glitches. Big glitches. Layered glitch effects cutting through the mix. The mix. Filtered bass fades into eerie paths and ambient noise. Robotic voice, echo voice, system overload. More complex glitch bass patterns with intense modulation. Fast-paced percussion rolls and glitch stutters. Synth lines morph with pitch bends and distortion. Ends with a heavy bass hit fading into static. Ambient glitch textures dissolve slowly. Final whispered phrase, it'll crackle. Low complex glitch bass patterns with intense modulation. Fast-paced percussion rolls and glitch stutters. Glitch stutters. Fast-paced percussion rolls and glitch stutters. Synth lines morph with pitch bends and diss stutters. Ends with the bass fades into eerie pads and ambient noise. Robotic voice, echo voice, system overload. More complex glitch bass patterns with intense modulation. Fast-paced percussion rolls and glitch stutters. Fast-paced but heavy bass hit fading into static. Ambient glitch textures dissolve slowly. Whispered phrase, it'll crackle. Afterburn captures the system overload. Afterburn complete to system overload. Fast-paced percussion rolls and glitch stutters. Synth lines morph with pitch bends and distortion. Ends with a heavy bass hit fading into static. Ambient glitch textures dissolve slowly. Final whispered freight, afterburn complete. Deep sub bass rumble like tectonic plate shifting. Faint crackling, digital debris falling through static voids. Low pass filtered cyber synth slowly opening, revealing rising tension. Robotic whisper, the aftermath is inevitable. About layered sparks traveling through a destroyed circuit. Punching at rapid metallic hi-hats, gradually increasing speed. Backdrop was partially haunted and like exploding ends with sudden silence before the drop. Massive distorted free space bending and wobbling violently. Kick hits like seismic pulses, stamps for metallic resonance. Rising and falling silence, civilizing the network's collapsing code. Make chocolates break cycle silence and bases return with double force. The bass LFO sweeps slowly, imitating aftershock tremors. Small percussion and atmospheric wing wand-like effects. Aftershock sequence continuing. More chaotic bass design, bitch crushed to tune growls. Drum patterns alternate between halftime and rapid double time for intensity. Randomized glitch effects got chunks of the drop like unstable signal bursts. Drones fade out, leaving deep, slow bass rumbles. Final reverberating boom fades into silence as sparks of static glitch out. Last words, transmission terminated.
Some bass like an incoming storm. Sparks and static panning left to right as if data packets are colliding. Robotic whisper, firewall online, preparing counter-strike. Slow track beat fades in under glitchy, fire like crackle effects. Electric hi-hats rolling at 1/3 speed with glitch stutters. Sense risers mixed with deep tom hits. Firewall pulse sound effect. Silence for a split second, and drop detonates. Syncopated bass level 30 but precise. Kick and scary like system intrusion alert. Central brain tone with distortion, rising and falling like firewall flames. Every 8 bars, glitch, pitch, vocal, denied. Bass fades out, replaced by airy synth pads and distant thunder rumbles. Alarm sirens echo in a digital reverb chamber. Even faster drums with tempo, snare rolls and bursts like machine gun fire. Ground bass, rhythm, pitch, pens with an unseeable firewall breaking in unused apart. Laser effects sweep across the stereo field, ends with a deep, booming phrase that reverberates into static. Burning like glitch drop fade over soft ambient pattern. Final robotic line, mission secure bass drum terminated, ends with a faded heartbeat kick. Player with the talent card escapes the bass rumbles under sparks glitchy says. Sounding silence in this one along fade and intensifying snare rolls and hi-hat speeding up. Rising samples with stutter effects, vocal chops echoing. Burn, burn, burn. Brief silence before the drop for impact. Taking bass with aggressive growls and distortion. Moves off in the rhythm aggressively. Sensei styles burst you in the flow. Rapid hi-hat rolls adding urgency. Atmosphere paths with filter bass undertones. The bass rumbles on the throat. Normal percussion with echoing glitch sounds. More complex bass lines with rhythmic modulation. Fascinating glitch textures and fading snares. Digital hum. Rising cymbals with stair effects. Vocal chops echoing burn, burn, burn. Brief silence before the drop for impact. Hard-hitting bass with aggressive growls and distortion. From start to start, hits driving the records for weak. Glitch, drag and burn, the bird left as in the burn. Not in rules, there's that emergency. Anthems bring snare rolls and hi-hats speeding up. Rising cymbals with stutter effects. Vocal chops echoing burn, burn, burn. Brief silence before the drop for impact. Hard-hitting bass with aggressive drop for impact. Hard-hitting bass with aggressive growls and distortion. And flapping stereo hits, driving the effects for weak. Glitch, dragging, burn, but bird up and the flow. Rapid hi-hat rolls adding urgency. Atmospheric paths with silver bass undertones. The bass rumbles on the throat. Normal percussion with echoing glitch sounds. More complex bass lines with rhythmic modulation. Bass undertones, distant robotic voice, and the rhythm aggressively. Minimal percussion with echoing glitch sounds, more complex bass lines with rhythmic modulation. Faster snare sequences and layered glitch percussion, sharp synth leads weaving through the mix. Ends with a heavy snare finale fading into static, ambient glitch textures and fading snares. Tonal voice, citadel hum, secreting sis. citadel secure. Then
Soft urban ambient noises, distant hums, tired creatures. My men engage, drift, drive, where they hit the hi-hats. Snappy snares and rolling hi-hats increase momentum. Symptoms with filters, weaves, climbing high. Rising white noise and vocal chops, echoing, drive, 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 drive. Pause right before the drop for maximum impact. Rolling bassline with a groovy syncopated rhythm. Sharp synth stabs and metallic effects and highs and drive. Punchy kicks and claps keep the energy tight. Glitchy fills, sweeping effects add texture. Way down ambient pads with subtle urban sounds. Whispered voice, true control lost. Like percussion and filters in sleep for intention. Bassline thickens with additional growl and distortion. Comes percussion patterns with triplet hot hi-hats and synths. Phrases build intensity with harmonics and modulant. Ends with the filter bass fade out and echoing effects. Ambient syntax dissolve with distant city sounds. Final buckle to page, they fade away. Rising white noise and vocal chops echoing drive, 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 drive. Pause right before the drop for maximum impact. Thick rolling bassline with a groovy syncopated rhythm. Sharp synth stabs and metallic X and highs and drive. Punchy kicks and claps keep the energy tight. Crunchy fills and sweeping effects add texture. Ambient pass with subtle urban sounds. Whispered voice, drift tone loss. Less burn fusion and filters sensory attention. Bassline thickens with additional growl and distortion. Complex percussion patterns with triple play hi-hats and synths. Complex percussion patterns with triple play hi-hats and synths. Complex percussion patterns with triplet hi-hats and synth players build intensity with harmonics and modulation. Ends with a filter bass fade out and echoing effects. Ambient syntax dissolve with distant city sounds. Love to duet, fading away. Legends love to duet, fading away. Love to duet, fading away. Legends love to duet, fading away.
Soft atmospheric synth paths like city lights shimmering in the distance. Gentle 5-funnel crackle morphing into faint engine rev samples. Robotic voice engage, drift protocol. Warm bass hum starts pulsing slowly like a heartbeat in the night. Tight snare rolls with stereo glitch sweeps. High-pitched dark melodies bouncing between left and right channels. Reverse cymbal swells that feel like a gear shift before acceleration. Momentary silence before the drop. One digital blip acts like a green light. Deep wobbling bass line locked into a rolling groove. drifting, side to side rhythm. Occasional bit crush bursts as if the road is glitching under the tires. Main synth melody gliding up and down like smooth gear shifts that return with a dreamy night drive feel. Light reverb on percussion, creating a wide open atmosphere. A melodic voice whispers, stay in the lane, or break it, or break it. Heavier bass with sharper transient attacks. Subtle glitch fills between every 4 bars, giving the illusion of skipping time. Melodic layers stack until it feels like full acceleration. Final 10 seconds of the drop strip, back to just the bass and kick. The engine rev fades into digital distortion. Run melody slows those down like a car coasting to a stop. Ends on a single echoing synth note.
Industrial metal clangs echo in a distant alley. Glitch bass guitar sample through distorts distortion. Melodic announcer, system jam lock initiated. Kick drum fades in with heavy compression like a heartbeat with steel boots. Magic like snare wolf, mechanical glitch pops and synchronous synth stabs. Bass line begins, revving like an engine about to the red line. Quick starter cuts before the first drop. Massive break beat drums with overtrans and snare hits. Up bass rumbles beneath sharp syncopated synth riff. Every 8 bars brief glitch cuts that sound like gear shifts in overdrive. Bass drops applicate on metallic percussive tabs and static. So gritty bass guitar sample filtered through distortion. Illusion, robotic announcer. Robotic announcer. System jam lock initiated. Kick drum fades in with heavy compression like a heartbeat. Waits in with heavy compression like a heartbeat with steel boots. Ratchet like snare wolf, mechanical glitch pops and sync with synth stabs. Bass line begins revving like an engine about to redline. Quick starter cuts before the first drop. Massive break beat drums with overdrive pops and sync with synth stabs. Bassline begins revving like an engine about to redline. Quick starter cuts before the first drop. Bass drops are replaced by metallic percussive tabs and static. Soft bass rumbles beneath sharp syncopated synth riffs. Every 8 bars brief glitch cuts that sound like gear shifts in overdrive. System jam lock initiated. Kick drum fades in with heavy compression like a heartbeat with steel boots. Bassline moves into a growling synth and percussive taps and static. Voice center cuts before the first drop. Bass drops out, replaced by metallic percussive taps and static. Throat bass rumbles beneath sharp syncopated synth riffs. Every 8 bars brief glitch cuts that sound like gear shifts in overdrive. Bass drops out, replaced by metallic percussive taps and static. Voice drops, surges by metallic percussive taps and static. Bass drops out, replaced by metallic percussive taps and static. Voice stops. Voice accent rises in the background. Faster tempo feel, double time hats with distorted kick layers. Bassline morphs into a growling synth engine. Distortion glitches spike every other beat, giving a feeling of chaos. Ends with the massive snare hitting to silence from one beat. Gradual fade of the bassline into static hiss. robotic voice in the distance. Jam up disengaged. Final deep bass thump closes the track. Deep sub bass fades in like a car engine van. Ambient city sounds distant, traffic faint cars wheels. Light hi-hats and metallic percussion set a pulsing rhythm. Vocal sample. Build up. Snare rolls increase gradually. Rising synth fills with white noise, sweeps build tension. Sidechain paths pump energy toward the first drop. Nitro, nitro, nitro. Punchy 4 on the floor kick with distorted sub bass. Sharp slot plugs layered with wobble bass. Glitch X laser stabs and stereo hi-hats accentuate rhythm. Turbo whistle effects enhance the speed sensation. Beat filters out, leaving ambient pads and bass hum. Echoed feel the nitro. Rising riser builds to anticipation for the second drop. Bass becomes heavier and more aggressive with additional distortion layers. Kick and snare pattern grows more complex with trap style rolls. Lead synth bends dynamically across the stereo field. Turbo whistle reverse crashes and subtle crowd chants. Kick and bass gradually fade. Sub-bass lingers with soft ambient paths. Final vocal complete. Nitro, 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 nitro. Short pause before the drop hits. G4 on the floor kick with distorted sub bass. The lead synth sharp slot plugs layered with wobble bass. Glitch X laser stabs and stereo hi-hats accentuate rhythm. Turbo whistle effects enhance the speed sensation. Beat filters out, leaving ambient pads and bass hum. Echo feel the nitro. Rising riser builds to anticipation for the second drop. Bass becomes heavier and more aggressive with additional distortion layers. Kick and snare pattern grows more complex with trap style rolls. Lead synth bends dynamically across the stereo field. Turbo whistle reverse crashes and subtle crowd chants. Kick and bass gradually fade. Sub bass lingers with soft ambient paths. Final vocal complete. Bass beat faint city ambience fading into silence.
Bass fades in like a car engine warming up. Ambient city sounds, distant traffic, faint tire screeches. Light hi-hats and percussive clicks mimic gear shifts. Vocal samplers engaged. Stereo rosely speed up. Rising synthos with white noise sweeps. Sidechain pads bump tension toward the first drop. Wave.
G4 on the floor kick with distorted sub bass. Light chain pads pump tension toward the first drop. Wave. Punch 4 on the floor kick with distorted sub bass. Glitch X laser stabs and stereo hi-hats accentuate rhythm.
turbo whistle effect synthesizes speed. Heat filters out, leaving ambient passive bass hum. Echo boost, reverse tension for the second drop. Bass grows heavier with added distortion and growls. Kick and snare pattern becomes more complex with trap style rolls. Lead synth bends dynamically across the stereo field. FX, turbo whistle, reverse crashes and subtle crowd chants. Kick and bass. Sub-bass lingers with soft ambient pads. Final row of complete. Ending into silence. Ending into silence.
Bass fades in. I'm living in a car, revving at the start line. Ambient street sounds, distant traffic, faint engine roars. Light hi-hats and metallic percussion set the rhythm. Vocal standards engaged. Snare will increase in speed. Rising cymbals and white noise sweeps build tension. Side change pads pump energy towards the first drop. Drop. Punchy 4 on the floor, kick pattern with distorted sub-bass. Late 6R drops layered with bobble bass. Glitch X and laser stabs punctuate the rhythm. Stereo hi-hats and turbo whistle effects enhance the speeds and sensation. Deep ambient pads and bass hum. Fill the fast lane. Rising riser builds anticipation for the second drop. Bass grows heavier and more aggressive with additional distortion layers. Kick and snare pattern becomes more complex with trap style rolls. Lead synth bends dynamically across the stereo field. Turbo whistles, reverse crashes, and subtle crowd chants. Kick and bass gradually fade. Sub-bass lingers with soft ambient pads. Fast and complete. Ambient pads. Fading in state. Aiming from start, the virgin into silence. Deep sub-bass fades in. Living in a car, revving at the start line. Ambient street sounds, distant traffic, faint engine roars. Light hi-hats and metallic percussion set the rhythm. Vocal standards engaged. Snare will increase in speed. Rising cymbals and white noise sweeps build tension. Side change pads pump energy towards the first drop. Drop. Drop.
Some bass fades in, making an engine revving up. Ambient street sounds, distant traffic, faint tire screeches. Light hi-hats and metallic percussion simulate gear shifts. Flow shifts, gear shifts, engaged. Narrow bass fades in, making an engine revving up. Ambient street sounds, distant traffic, faint tire screeches. Light hi-hats and metallic percussion simulate gear shifts. Flow shifts, gear shifts, engage. Narrow roll and accelerate. Rising cymbals, white noise, sweep, build tension. Side chain pads, pump energy towards the first drop. Force chop, slam, pause before hits. Punchy 4 on the floor kick with distorted sub-bass. Leads and flows on plugs layered with wobble bass. Glitch effects, laser stabs, stereo hi-hats accentuate rhythm. Turbo whistle effects enhance the speed sensation. Filters out leaving ambient pads and deep bass hum. Feel the gear shift. Rising decibels tension for the second drop. Drop, 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 drop. Bassline grows heavier with added distortion and growls. Kick and snare pattern becomes more complex with trap style rolls. Leads and bends dynamically across the stereo field. Turbo slower, first crashes and some crowd chants. Kick and bass gradually fade. Sub-bass layers with soft and ambient pads. Final vocal would bleed into the same city, ambient fading into silence.
Up, bass phasing, mimicking ambient revving up. LB3 sounds, distant traffic, faint tires, scream, light, hi-hats, and metallic percussion mimic gear shifts. Ignition, engaged. Snare rolls accelerate steadily, rising synth and white noise tweaks loops, build tension. Side chain pads pump energy toward the first drop. Slam, slam, slam. Short pulver for the drop hits. T4 on the floor kick pattern with distorted sub-bass. Lead synth for bishop saw, plops layer, wobble bass. Glitch effects, laser stabs, and stereo hi-hats actuate rhythm. Turbo whistle effects adds a sense of speed. Beat filters out, leaving only bass hum and atmospheric pads. FO the ignition. Rising riser, build anticipation for the second drop. Bassline grows heavier with added distortion and a gear shift. Beat and snare pattern becomes more complex with trap style rolls. Leads and bends dynamically, creating stereo movement. Effects, turbo whistle, reverse crashes and subtle crowd chants. Kick and bass gradually fade, sub-bass lingers with soft reverb pads. Final vocal height, ignition, complete. Ignition, engaged, engaged, into silence.
Deep sub-bass fades in like an engine revving at the starting line. Ambient city sounds, distant traffic, faint tire squeals. Light hi-hats and metallic percussion set a pulsing rhythm. Vocal sample engaged. Snare rolls gradually accelerate. Rising synth voice with white noise swings build tension. Tension, tension. Sonic of energy toward the first drop. Bass, 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 bass. Toward the first drop. Vocal top.
Bass, 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 drop.
On T4 on the floor kick with distorted sub-bass. Leads and stops on playfully with distorted sub-bass. Leads and stops with dissipation for the second drop. Bass grows heavier as the sense of added distortion layers. Kick and snare pattern becomes more complex with trap style rolls. Leads and bends dynamically across the stereo field. Turbo whistle, reverse crashes and subtle crowd chants. Kick and bass gradually fade, sub-bass lingers with soft ambient pads. Final vocal repeat, final beat, bass, beat, bass, beat, bass, beat, beat. Sub-bass lingers with soft ambient pads. Final vocals, reverse crashes with the subtle crowd. Final vocals pump energy toward the first drop. Bass, 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 bass. Toward the first drop, vocals hop. Punchy 4 on the floor kick with distorted sub-bass. Leads and stops on Blake with distorted sub-bass. Leads and snakes, laser stabs, and stereo hi-hats actuate the turbo whistle enhances the sense of speed. Filters out, unique ambient pads and deep bass hum. Feel the riff, build a run, build a run. Rising rise builds anticipation for the second drop. Bass grows heavier and more aggressive with added distortion layers. Kick and snare pattern becomes more complex when trap style rolls. Leads and bends dynamically across the stereo field. Turbo whistle reverse sub-bass for the second drop. Bass grows heavier and more fading into silence.
city sounds, distant traffic, faint tire squeals. Light hi-hats and percussive clicks mimic shifting gears. The bass engaged. Metal bass engaged. Metal bass engaged. Snare rolls gradually increase in speed. Rising synthos with white noise sweeps build tension. Sidechain pads pump energy toward the first drop. Bass, bass, bass. Short pause before the drop hit. Short on the floor kick with distorted sub bass. Beats in for samples laden with wobble bass. Glitch effects, laser stabs and stereo hi-hats actuate rhythm. Turbo whistle effects adds a speed sensation. Beat filters out, leaving ambient pads and bass hum. Feel the pedal. Rising riser builds anticipation for the second drop. Bass grows heavier and more aggressive with that and distortion. Kick and snare patterns become more complex with traps are released. Synth bends dynamically across the stereo field. Bass, turbo whistles, reverse crashes, and subtle crowd chants. Kick and bass gradually fade. Sub bass lingers with soft ambient pads. Final to bass engaged. Pedal to bass engaged.
Sub bass fades and then again an engine revving up. City noises, distant traffic fades over together. White hi-hats and metallic percussion mimic electrical sparks. Vocal line engaged. Snare rolls accelerate gradually. Rising synthoyos with white noise sweeps. Sidechain pads pump tension toward the first drop. Amp.
Heavy distorted sub bass with punchy form floor kick. Lights and sharps all plucks layered with wobble bass. Glitch effects, laser stabs, stereo hi-hats add dynamic energy. Turbo whistle effects actuates key moments. Beat filters out, leaving moment bass hum. Atmospheric paths, build power line. Rising riser builds tension for the second drop. Bass becomes more aggressive with added distortion and growls. Kick and snare pattern grows more complex with trap sound rolls. Lead synth bends dynamically across stereo field. FX, turbo whistle, reverse crashes and subtle crowd samples. Kick and bass gradually fade. Sub bass lingers with ambient synth pads. Final vocal beat ends with faint city ambience fading into silence. Sub bass slowly fades in, mimicking engine idling. Ambient city sounds, distant traffic, faint sirens. Light hi-hats and metallic percussion set the rhythm. Speeding up. Rising synthos and white noise sweeps build tension. Sidechain pads pump energy toward first drop. Pause before kick pattern, distorted sub bass. Leads in with aggressive saw plucks, layered wobble bass. Glitch X and laser stabs accentuate the rhythm. Stereo hi-hats add motion and depth. Beat filters out, leaving ambient pads and sub bass hum. Echo feel the speed, rising riser leads into the second drop. Bass grows heavier and more aggressive. Kick and snare patterns become complex. hi-hats and metallic percussion simulate a countdown. Wolves beat storm. Against down the lead, rising seatbelts, echoes and white noise. Waves build tension. Sighting past all energy toward the first drop. Storm. Short pause before the drop hits. Touching on the floor, kick with distorted sub-bass. Bass. Hit shots on crusader with wobble bass. Let's take us heavier with added distortion and growl. Taking their battles become more complex with drum style rolls. Leads in and dynamically across the stereo field. Tempo with super bass, acceleration goes with soft ambient paths, final vocally. Ends with faint city ambience fading into silence. Street sounds, distal traffic, faint fire and squeals. Orgasmo energy towards the first drop. Gulp chop.
Low rumbling stuff with faint city ambience. Distant track, muffled sirens. Slow filtered synth chords glowing like neon in the dark. Vocal whisper with stereo delay under the street lights. Quick reverse crash leads into the beat. Snare hits every second beat, layered with metallic clinks. Rising pitch, riser synth, filtered kick drum building pressure. Bass swell with short glitchy vocal chop slam. Light revving sound effects sync to tempo. Heavy wub bass into the kick pattern. 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 Levy 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 wub bass into the kick pattern. Krill moments, short effects, seeming fertile. Short echoing vocal fields seal the city. Rising synth sweep with panic effective flex speeding past lives. More aggressive bass growls, layered with high pitch. Kick drum hits harder, almost distorted. Quick 2-bar
engine. Metallic percussion, taps and hi-hats mimic gear shifts. Faint engine revs, samples in the background. Vocal, ready, ready. Snare roll, accelerates steadily. Rising synthos and the white noise sweeps, build tension. Side chain pads, pump anticipation. Vocal jump, quick, quick, quick. Punchy, kicking heavy, distorted sub-bass, lead synth with saw plugs and aggressive grasps. Hot house, hi-hat rolls and glitch effectuate the rhythm. Occasional turbo whistle effects to simulate speed bursts. He drops the halftime with filter bass. Echo vocal, feel the quake, rising riser and reverse effects leading to next drop. Drop, 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 drop. Bassline, more aggressive layer with growl and wobble. Since kick and snare pattern becomes more complex with trap style rolls. Lead synth bends dynamically for extra tension. Turbo whistle and glitch fills punctuate transitions. Turbo whistle and glitch fills tension. Fills turbo whistle and glitch fills punctuate transition. Kicking bass fade, leaving ambient synth pass. Engine rev sample slowly disappears into distance. Final vocal thus engaged, gauged, gauged.
Beats up, bass fades in like an engine revving at the starting line. Ambient street noises, distant cars, faint tire screeches. Light hi-hats and metallic percussion set a pulsing rhythm. Quake engaged. Engaged. Barrels accelerate gradually. Rising synthos with white noise sweeps, build tension. Side chain pads pump energy towards the first drop. Quake, 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 quake. She formed on the floor kick with distorted sub bass. Lead synth aggressive saw plugs layered with wobble bass. Glitch effects, laser stabs, and stereo hi-hats accentuate rhythm. Turbo whistle effects at the sense of speed. Beat filters out, leaving ambient pads and deep bass hum. Now let's go the torque. Rising riser builds anticipation for the second drop. Bass becomes heavier and more aggressive, layered with growls. Kick and snare patterns become more complex with drop style rolls. Beat synth bends dynamically across the stereo field. That's turbo whistle, reverse crashes, settle crowd jams. Kick and bass gingerly fade. Sub bass lingers with soft ambient pads. Torque, quake, quake. Torque, quake, quake. Torque, quake, complete. Bands with faint city ambience fading into silence. Beats of bass fades in like a roaring engine. Ambient street sounds, distant traffic and tire squeals. Like hi-hats and metallic percussion pulsing rhythm. Turbo riot, engaged, engaged, engaged. Slow moving, accelerate, rising symptoms with light noise which build tension. Sidechain pads bump, edgy towards the first drop. Riot, 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 riot. She flew on the floor, kick with distorted sub-bass. Racing sax, laser stabs, and stereo hi-hats actuate rhythm, emphasizes speed and intensity. Beat filters out, leaving ambient pads and bass hum. Full turbo. sub-bass slowly fades in like a car revving at the start line. Ambient city noises, distant traffic, faint engine roars, light hi-hats and metallic percussion mimic the countdown to a race. Turbo charge, ready?
Snare rolls accelerate steadily. Rising flames flows and more noise sweeps built for anticipation. Side chain pads pump tension toward the first drop. Charge, 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 charge. Put him on the block. G4 on the floor, kick pattern with distorted sub-bass leads them to best suppression, modulation.
Wobble bass laying for intensity.
Switch effects and laser sound to add energy and excitement.
Beat filters out, leaving only bass humming atmospheric. That's
The turbo.
rising, riser, effects leads into the second drop. Bass becomes heavier,
Layered with growling storage synths.
kick and snare pattern becomes more complex with trap style rolling synth and dynamically creating a wider stereo effect.
Effects.
Turbo whistle of it for crashes and crouches samples for festival vibe. Kicking and bass fully, so bassline with soft reverb. From the boat drop complete, from the same city ambience fitting out.
Racing like a car, idling under streetlights. Soft ambient synths create a nighttime city vibe. Light hi-hats, some percuss and clicks at a gentle rhythm. Midnight overboost. Midnight overboost. Snare rolls gradually increase in speed. Rising synth thresholds and white noise sweeps build tension. Side chain pads bump energy towards the first drop. Boost, 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 boost. Head distorted sub-bass with punchy form. 4K led synths, audio build bass with later vocal bass. Glitch X laser stabs and stereo hi-hats add dynamic energy. Boost, punctuates, keeping notice set to beat. Filters out, leaving ambient pads and deep bass hum. Echo over boost. Rising riser builds tension for the second drop. Bass becomes heavier and more aggressive. Kick and snare pattern grows complex with trap style rolls. Lead synth bends dynamically across stereo field. FX turbo with some reverse crashes. Subtle cloud samples. Kick and bass gradually fade. So face the news with soft ambient pads. Fading into silence. Deep sub-bass slowly fades in like a car idling at night. Soft ambient synths create a moody cityscape. Light hi-hats and filtered percussion set a gentle rhythm. Shift engaged. Increasing in speed, rising simple boost, soft filter sweeps. Side chain pads pumping tension towards the drop. Boost, boost. Short pause before the drop. Heavy, distorted sub-bass drives the rhythm. Punchy 404 kick with snappy snares. Let's synth boost with melodic plucks layered with wobble. Stereo hi-hats and glitch effects enhance motion and energy. Filters out, leaving heavy passing deep bass hum. Feel the city pulse. Show riser builds anticipation for the second drop. Bass goes heavier and more aggressive. Kick and snare pattern becomes more complex, added trap style rolls. Leap bends dynamically with added distortion. Additional effects, turbo whistles, reverse crashes, and subtle crowd noise. Height shift complete, ends with soft city ambience fading into silence.
Rumbling sub-bass gradually fades in, mimicking an engine revving. Soft ambient synth pads at a neon late nighttime vibe. Light hi-hats and metallic percussion simulate the countdown to acceleration. Snare rolls increase in speed, building tension. Rising synth fills with white noise sweeps. Sidechain paths pump energy toward the first drop. Oh, right. Short pause just before the drop hits. Heavy distorted sub-bass with punchy 4-on-the-floor kick pattern. Lead synths with sharp saw plucks layered with wobble effects. Hi-hat rolls, glitch effects, and laser stabs add dynamic energy. Subtle turbo whistle effects to enhance the sense of speed. Beat cuts to halftime with filtered bass and pads. Echo Voca burger, rising riser builds anticipation for the second drop. Bass grows heavier and more aggressive with added distortion layers. Kick and snare pattern more complex with trap style rolls. Lead synth bends dynamically across stereo field. Ammo whistle, reverse crashes, and crowd chant samples. Kick and bass gradually fade out. Some bass lingers with ambient caps. Final vocal beat ends with soft CRBs fading into silence. Percussion and hi-hat takes like a countdown. Ambient crowd noise utterly mixed in. Start your engines. Snare roll increases in speed. Rising synths and white noise sweeps. Sidechain paths pumping tension. Vocal job go. Small pause for the drop. Punchy 4-on-the-floor kick pad with stories on sub-bass. Aggressive lead synth with sharp saw plucks. Glitch effects and laser sounds for extra energy. Stereo hi-hats moving rhythmically left to right. Beat flips out, leaving only bass and percussive effects. Feel the speed. Rising rises and short reverse crashes before the second drop. Bass grows heavier with added layers of distortion and growl. Kick and snare pattern becomes more complex with trap style rolls. Leads into patch line of variation, intensity. Turbo whistle effects and reverses feels that tension. Kicks and snares gradually fade. Sub-bass lingers with light reverb. Engine revs fade into silence.
Deep bass fades in like an engine revving at the start line. Ambient street sounds, distant cars, faint tire screeches. Light hi-hats and metallic percussion mimic the countdown. Rope Street, ready. Snare rolls gradually accelerate. Rising synthballs and white noise sweeps build tension. Sidechain paths pump energy toward the first drop. Vocal chop. Extreme. Punchy 4-on-the-floor kick with distorted sub-bass. Lead synth partials, the vicious all-plex slave rhythm. Stereo hi-hats and SX add dynamic energy. Beat drops to halftime with filtered bass and pads. Rising riser builds anticipation for the second drop. Bass becomes heavier and more aggressive, layered with growls. Kick and snare pattern becomes more complex with trap style rolls. Lead synth bends down and creating stereo movement. Bass turbo whistle, reverse crashes, and subtle crowd chants. Kick and bass gradually fading into silence.
I'm on my bass that fades into rhythm. Metallic percussion taps like tools hitting a garage chord. Rising synth paths that sound like a supercharger spinning up, ready for full power. Snare roll starting slow but gradually double the speed. High pass filter sweeps, removing the low end to build tension. Turbo whistle effects away with rising synth pitch bends. Vocal chop repeating octane. No stress up bass hit followed by a pounding 4-on-the-floor kick. Sawtooth leads to synth with punchy bass hits. Sidechain bumping makes the drop feel like the beat is breathing. Random first steps, flooring aggressive mechanical feel. Anthems, beat cuts to just the bass and hi-hats for tension. Echo vocal hit measures, short halves and break down halfway before full speed kick resumes. Kick fades out, leaving just the leads and fading into reverb. Engine left sound fades into the distance. Final glitch, stab in silence. Final glitch, stab in silence.
Heartbeat lights up bass that seems to want your beating and gradually speeding up. Felt the synth starts moving in stereo for a dizzy erasing effect. Layer of subtle tones, reach effects in the background, vocal whisper, feel the pulse. Feel the pulse and gets faster. Engine blend, slow bass slap followed by a syncopated kick snare pattern, mainly aggressive, so wave layer with dissipation synth. Silent meets a breathing tension before the drop. Nitro, nitro, nitro. Huge sub bass slam followed by a syncopated kick snare pattern, mainly aggressive, slow wave layered with distorted bass stuff. Atomic hits and trap hi-hat rolls for texture. Every 8 bars, turbo hits and reverse bass hit for transition. Drop cut to halftime bass becomes deeper and lighter. Echo shouts, boosted panning left to right. Start breakdown, for building again. Drop build again, drop building again. Drop to nitro, nitro. Every 8 bars, turbo hits and reverse bass hit for a bigger sound. Bass line more distorted and sidechain heavier fill effects. Gun reload, clicks, explosion, bass drop. Kicks fade out, bass drops into sub-layer. Engine rep fades into distance with Doppler effect. Final low frequency hit that resonates for 5 seconds. Up to nitro, nitro. Up to nitro, nitro. Up to nitro, nitro. Turbo hiss from the first bass. Final low frequency hit that resonates for 5 seconds.
Beats of bass slowly fading like an engine warming up. Light hi-hats and percussive clicks mimic a racing countdown. Atmospheric synth adds great tension and anticipation. Overdrive, engaged. Stereo rotating layered with white noise sweeps. Sidechain pads pumping energy toward the drop. Go, 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 go. For the mobile baseline layer with distorted sub-bass. Pour the floor kick pattern with punchy snares. Lead synth, soft blocks with sharp motion. Consciousness and lasers that accentuate rhythm. Fills out, leaving bass along with atmospheric paths. With purple drive, rising riser builds tension for the second drop. Drop, drop, go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. Bass hits harder with an extra lane and atmospheric paths. Whisper killing overdrive, rising riser builds tension for the second drop. Drop, drop, go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. Kick and bass blade leaves a bass lingers with ambient synth pads. Final vocalize complete.
The bass fades in like a ribbon engine. Metallic percussion and hi-hat hits with gear shifts. Ambient street sounds, distant traffic and dark wheel vocal sample RE.
Snare rolls increase in speed. Rising synth player layered with white noise sweeps. Sidechain pads pump tension toward the first drop. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Short pause before the drop hits. Punchy 4 on the floor kick pattern with distorted sub bass. Lead synth but progressive soft blocks layered with wobble bass. Grumble, rumble, 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 rumble. Rumble, 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 rumble. Rumble, 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 rumble. Rumble, 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 rumble. Beat filters out, leaving only bass on an atmospheric pass. Echo vocal ramp, rise Rising riser builds anticipation for the second drop. Bassline grows heavier with added distortion and growl kicking. Snare pattern becomes more complex from trap style rolls. Lead synth bends dynamically, creating stereo movement. FMS, turbo whistle, reverse crashes, and subtle crowd chants. Kick and bass gradually fade. Sub-bass lingers with soft reverb pads. Final vocal complete, upply and complete. Ends with fading and fading into silence. Rumble, 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 rumble. Rumble, 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 rumble. Rumble, 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 rumble. Rumble, 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 rumble. Beat filters out, leaving only bass on and atmospheric paths. Echo vocal ram. Rising riser builds anticipation for the second drop. Bassline grows heavier with added distortion and growl kicking. Snare pattern becomes more complex with trap style rolls. Lead synth bends dynamically, creating stereo movement. FMS, turbo whistle, reverse crashes, and subtle crowd chants. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Rumble, 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 rumble. Rumble.
Kick and bass gradually fade. The bass lingers with soft reverb pads.
Keep leveling, sub-bass fades in like a distant engine revving. Ambient city sounds, tires screeching, faint sirens echoing reverb. Filtered synth arms gliding upward, turbo engaged, turbo engaged, turbo engaged. Snare rolls with gradually increasing speed. Rising pitch synth sweeps layered with turbo whistle effects. Side chain pad builds tension. Midnight, 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 midnight. Sudden slaps before drop. Heavy bass house groove with distorted sub bass. Touchy for a kid driving the beat. Metallic pluck leads an aggressive synth stabs. Turbo boost effects washing into bass drops. Wide stereo hi-hats adding motion. Adversary pads with echoing engine revs. While fine filter on beat for tension. We own the night. We own the night. Fade melodically teasing the next drop. The next drop. Even heavier bass, faster hi-hat rolls, layered synth leads. Laser effects and glitch fills before each measure. Bass patterns which stop your whistle and racing. Turbo whistle risers before final hit. Beat slowly filters out, bass fades. Distant car engine speeding away. Turbo disengaged. Ends with soft hum of the city. The city, the city, the city, the city.
Bass rumble like a revving engine. Metallic tire screeches and urban night ambience. Rising synth pads create tension. Vocal sampling, engage. Accelerated snare rolls and layered claps. White noise riser sweeping up in pitch. Vocal chop, anthem. Accelerated snare rolls and layered claps. White noise riser sweeping up in pitch. Vocal chop, anthem. Short pause before the drop for maximum impact. Punchy kick with distorted sub bass leads synth. Red synth soft pop with modulate. Engine revs and gear shift and turbo and racing high and survive. Beat stripped down to ambient pads and low rumble city night sounds and echoing synths pay attention. Whisper vocal
harsh effects, punctuate key moments. Punctuate key. Punctuate key. Punctuate key. Metallic hits and tire skills and stereo for motion. Things and dies, create tension, vocals, boost activated. Activated. Rapid snare rolls and side chains. White noise, riser, increasing pitch. Vocal cord chops, right, click, click. Torpedo rising in energy, simulating turbos full. Punch and kick with distorted sub-bass, aggressive, let's hit with this. Stereo effects, glitch notes and turbo whistle, accentuate the drop. Low frequency rumble underlies the quick sensation. Beat stripped down to random dots and filtered bass. Whispered vocal, heavier, more distorted, and rhythmic. And snare pattern, survive from maximum energy. Leads in, dance and echo, you consider your field. Turbo overall, punctuate phrases. On level, low level to sweep on all instruments. Something states until ambient city engine sounds. Final vocal, late. Beats up, bass rumble, stimulating engine revs. Metallic tire screws and distant city ambience. The tip pads rising in pitch for tension. Ready, set, drop. Accelerating snare rolls and layered claps. White noise risers increasing in intensity. Drag. Short pause before drop for maximum impact. Punchy kick with deep distorted sub-bass. Late sync signals increasing in cruising. Drag. Short pause before drop. Punchy kick with deep distorted sub-bass. Late signals with and turbo whiz and tendons to drop. Feel the drag. Bass becomes heavier and more syncopated. Kick and snare patterns intensify. Lead synth plays dynamically across stereo field. Turbo blow off and glitch effects punctuate key phrases. Lateral low pass filter sweep on all synths. Sub bass fades into ambient street engine sounds. Track straight, drop complete. turbo flutter between bars. Hardstyle inspired reverse bass fills every 16 beats. Gradual filter sweep out of the lid. Bass fades into sub-only rumble. Some bass simulating engine revs. Tighter screeches and thin-eyed ambience. Rising synth bass create tension. With full throttle, engage. Accelerating snare rolls and layered claps. White noise riser climbing the pitch. For the first shot for maximum impact. Punchy kick with heavy, distorted sub-bass. Punchy kick with heavy, distorted sub-bass. Punchy kick with heavy, distorted sub-bass. Electric stereo sweeps and turbo whistle effects enhance energy. Engine rev and gear shift accentuate the racing vibe. These strips down to ambient pads, a low rumble fitted sounds. A subtle engine, idling to maintain tension. Whispered vocal, feel the throttle. Bass becomes heavier, more aggressive, and rhythmically complex. Kick and snare patterns intensify energy. Beats and cries dynamically across stereo fields. Revolution moments. Gradual low pass filter sweep on all synths. Sub-bass fades into ambient street. Engine sound. Glide no vocal traits. Deep solid bass rumble mimicking engine revs. Metallic tires, screeches and urban night ambience. Filtered synth pass rising in pitch to build tension. Whispered vocal gear burn. Engage. Accelerating snare rolls and crying noise. Riser increasing intensity. Vocal chop. Burn. Jump off before the drop for maximum impact. Pussy kid with the distorted sub-bass. Glitch and kick, stereo sweeps and turbo whistle effects await the drop. Engine revs and gear shift effects punctuate key moments. Beats stripped down to ambient pads and low rumble. Distant city sounds and faints. Engine idling creates suspense. Whispered vocal war, air burn. Bass becomes heavier and more aggressive. Kick is in, patterns grow more complex. Lead synth bends dynamically across stereo field. Turbo blow off the effects, punctuate the phrases. Gradual low pass filter sweep on all synths. Sub-bass fades into ambient street and engine sounds. Final vocal, gear plate. Like a rumble layered with hydraulic hiss sounds. Metallic percussion hits echoing stereo mimicking garage reverb. Faint engine idle loop that low RPM. Robotic voice whispers engage gears so vertical. Rapid snare rolls layered with rising synth bit. Glitchy gear shift effects every 4 beats. Touching slow wave bass slowly filters in. Enter F sample sync with tempo, climbing faster and faster. Punchy 4 on the floor kick with massive low end. Lead synth deep to tune, super solid sidechain pumping. Gear shift cut chunks, samples we drop phrases. Sub bass fills between kids for chest rattling impact. Minimal bass with echoing claps and industrial ambience. Air compressor hiss and faint distant alarms. Stereo fluids kick pattern. Lead melody, now layered with distorted bass growls. Execute a cross and turbo school effects and drop beats breaking feels heavy. 8 bars to keep the adrenaline high. Gradual filter sweep out of the main synths. Mechanical sounds fade into silence. Final robotic whisper, gear storm complete.
Slowly fades in like a revving engine. Metallic FX tire screeches, anything urban ambient. Rising synth has attention. Full pause but first drop for you. Max. Engage. Max power. Engage. Snare roll speedy up. Layer with white noise riser. Pitch rising synth with the dissipation. Vocal drop, 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 drop. Pause before the first drop or impact. Punchy 4 on the floor, kick with distorted wobble bass. Aggressive lead synth with pitch modulation. Glitch stereo sweeps and laser stabs at the rhythm. Turbo whistle and engine revex emphasize speed. Beat strip down to ambient gas and low rumble. Subtle tire screeching, engine idle. Effects for tension, whispered vocal. Feel the power, bass becomes heavier and more distorted. Kick and snap patterns more complex and energetic. Leads it bends dynamically across the stereo fields. Turbo blow off effects and glitch those punctuate key moments. Gradual low pass filter sweep on all elements. Sub bass fade into ambient street engine sounds. Final row off a phase. Drop for a flap. Low rate.
Deep analog synth pad with a dreamy reverb, evoking the glow of neon lights. Gentle 808 sub pulses like distant traffic hum. Filtered synth arpeggio in a retro futuristic scan. Ride the highway to the drop. 4 on the floor, kick slowly layered with claps near combo. Rising white noise, sweep like wind rushing past a speeding car. Pulsing bass sign starts to tighten seat with hi-hat ticks. Words on the begins to fade in, sounding like a synth engine revving. Heavy side change, bass that punches with each kick. Sharp tops and melody echoing like neon lights parade. Layered bass stabs for that festival drop. Stereo pan laser synth effects to create a passing car's feel. Rapid spirit paths, soft rain effects to reset the vibe. New low kick with vocal chop echoes. Highway ambiance subtly layered for immersion. More aggressive bass pattern with extra grit. Melody doubled an octave higher for intensity. Glitch effects and rapid snare fills between phrases. Cinematic sub sweeps every 8 bars for impact. Bass fades out while synth arpeggio returns. Car engine rubber sound in the distance. Neon highway forever. Neon highway forever. Neon highway forever. Neon highway forever.
Deep sub-bass fades out like an engine revving. Neon synth glows layered with metallic tire screeches. Rising synth pads create tension. Whisper vocal neon RPM start. Accelerating snare rolls and claps. Voice risers increasing pitch for suspense. Vocal chop RPM, RPM. Short pause before the first drop for maximum impact. Punchy kick with deep distorted sub bass. Lead so plucked with wobble modulation. You strip down to ambient pads and low rumble fades. City night sounds and echoing synths. Whisper for the neon rush. bass grows heavier and more aggressive. Kick and snare patterns intensify energy. Lead synth bends dynamically across stereo field. Turbo blow off and glitch effects punctuate key moments. Gradual low pass filter sweep on all instruments. Sub bass fades into ambient street and engine sounds. Final vocal, 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 vocal. BPM, BPM, RPM, RPM. Bass grows heavier and more aggressive. Kick and snare patterns intensify energy. Lead synth bends dynamically across stereo field. Turbo blow off and glitch effects punctuate key moments. Gradual low pass filter sweep on all instruments. Sub bass fades into ambient street and engine sounds. Final vocal, 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 vocal. BPM, BPM, RPM, RPM, RPM. Gradual low pass filter sweep on all instruments. Sub bass fades into ambient street and engine sounds. Final vocal, vocal. RP, 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 RP. Sub bass and distant engine sounds. In deep purple blue tones, clean metallic hi-hat taps give a sense of motion. Whisper vocal, this is your night. Nitro engaged. Fast snare rolls begin layered with rising synth tension. Drop blue, go, go. High pitch risers and watch a signal incoming drop. Final half bar silence. Heavy chest punching kick with super saturated bass. Leads. Sharp metallic punch pitch bends. Side chain sub keeps the groove tight. Nitro rush sound effects between phrases. Beat strips down to deep sub bass and echoing claps. MC street noises and faint tire screeches. Reverse riser leads into the next build up. Even heavier bass with extra distortion layers. Drop it lead. Drop this. At double speed for intensity. Layers, synth leads with glitch, fills for variation. Whispered blast effects, sync the kick hits. Gradual filter fade of bass and percussion. Nitro, night. Ends with the faint turbo whistle fading into silence. Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. Huge stress punching kick with super saturated bass. Beats up metallic plucks from pitch bend. Side chain sub keeps the groove tight. Nitro rush sound effects and train phrases. Phrasing and preferring claps. Back in space, bass and echoing claps. Ambient bass, street noises and faint tire screeches. Reverse riser into the next builds up. Even heavier bass with extra distortion layers. Drop hi-hat patterns at double speed for
intensity. Layered synth leads with glitch, fills for variation. Nitro blast effects, sync to kick hits. Gradual filter fade of bass and percussion. Nitro, night, ends with faint turbo whistle fading into silence. Night, with a faint turbo whistle fading into silence.
Metallic X and distant city ambience. Soft synth pads rise in pitch, creating suspense. Whispered vocal, nitro blast nights begin. Accelerating snare rolls layered with class. Rising white noise sweep simulates turbo spool. Blast, blast, blast. Nitro pause for the first drop for maximum impact. Heavy, distorted sub bass with punchy kick. Distorted sub bass with punch and kick. Heavy, distorted sub bass with punch and kick. Picture plugs with wobble model. Heavy, distorted sub bass with punch and kick. Shot plugs with wobble. Heavy, distorted sub bass with punch and kick. Picture riffs and turbo whistles emphasize speed. Beats stripped down to ambient pads and low rumble. City night sounds layered with echoing synths. Whisper nitro. Bass grows heavier, more aggressive and syncopated. Kick and snare patterns intensify energy. Lead synth then Steiner clean across the stereo field. Turbo blow off the X and glitch those punctuate key moments. Gradual from past filter sweep on all synths. Sub bass fades into ambient street engine sounds. Nitro blast nights. Heavy, distorted sub bass with punchy kick. Rejuva nitro. This goes heavier, more aggressive and syncopated. Kick and snare patterns intensify energy. Lead synth then Steiner play across the stereo field. Turbo blow off the X and glitch those punctuate key moments. Gradual low pass filter sweep on all synths. Sub bass fades into ambient street engine sounds. On the bass, then the crown back plays. Turbo hits metallic claims. Low filter kick in a heartbeat. Feel dark synth pad building to tension. Rapid fire claps beating up potential right to right jump great bird. Rising synth bombs climbing and pitch up RPMs maxing out. Sub bass treble gets louder, creating a quake like shake. Massive big room kick super solid blasting through growling the bass layer under the main melody. Upbeat snare hits for extra energy. Air and stereo sleeps, get the feel of passing shock waves. Melodic fill, having full perfection. Melodic synth, having echoing blocks, beats, vents of cracking asphalt, distant explosion, show the quake. Baseline, more complex, syncopated with kick rolls. Main lead doubled with the tunes off from more fakeness. Flat snare rolls before each trace with impact. Background earthquake rumble effects throughout. How from the slowly filter down. Sub bass fades out by the long low rumble. Ends with a single boom kicking the third tail.
bass like an idling engine. Faint city ambience, distant sirens, tire screeches. Filtered kick pattern slowly opening up. Rising synth pad with metallic shimmer, giving a street-like glow vibe. Hi-hat ticks accelerate like a rev counter. Vocal chop, overboost. Tonight, pitched and echoed. White noise riser, reverse crash cymbal. Bassline begins pulsing, sidechain to the kick. Deep aggressive bass with sharp mid-range growls. Heavy 4 on the floor, kickback slams in car speakers. Main melody is a distorted synth riff, slightly detuned for grid. Stereo pad wishes to mimic cars passing at high speed. Ambient pad with soft vocal reverb layers. Single sustain, sub-bass note under range. Gentle tom fills leading back to the build. Bassline becomes more syncopated, adding trap style rolls. Lead synth doubled with an octave higher lead for energy. Pitch bend rises between phrases to feel like turbo spool sounds. Kick and snare get tighter, more punchy for a club ready feel. Gradual low pass filter on all instruments, fading into the distance. Engine rev effects slowly echoes away. Night overboost. Bass with sharp mid-range growls. Heavy 4 on the floor, kickback slams in car speakers. Main melody is a distorted synth riff, slightly detuned for grid. Stereo pan wishes to mimic cars passing at high speed. Ambient pad with soft vocal reverb layers. Single sustain, sub-bass note under rain. Gentle tom fills leading back to the build. Bassline becomes more syncopated, adding trap style rolls. Lead synth doubled with an octave higher lead for energy. Pitch bounces between phrases to feel like turbo spool sounds. Kick and snare get tighter, more punchy for a club ready feel. Gradual low pass filter on all instruments, fading into the distance. Engine rev effects slowly echoes away. Night overboost.
Waves rumble like an engine warming up. Metallic tires screeches in distant city ambient. Rising synth pads of pitch rebuilding tension.
Vocal load engage.
Oboic engage.
Bass rubbing white noise sweeps, but drive. Short pause before drop for maximum impact. On the shake kick layer with deep distorted sub bass. Aggressive lead synth with pitch modulation. Clap specs and stereo sweeps accentuate the drop. Turbo whistling engine, ref X emphasize speed. Atmospheric systems and then go from the club and the forward and significant nutrition. Low rumble and distant city sounds making tension. Bass per vocal load. Bass grows heavier and more aggressive. Kick and snare patterns become complex and energetic. Lead synth dynamically across the real field. Turbo blow off X punctuate key phrases. I'll pass. Filter on all synth on all synths. Soft bass into ambient street engine sound. Vocal load drive complete.
Rising synth line, built tension. Whispered pedal, quick, engage. Whispered vocal, quick, engage.
Accelerating through rolls and glide noise fighting. Pick up quick, pitch. Quick. Short pause before the drop. EDM swoops and turbo whistles. Engine revs and gear shifted fast, punctuate the drop. Beats shift down to ambient pads and low rumble. Sitting that sounds layered with an echoing sense. There's no vocal pedal clippings because the stereo feels turbo blow up and rich effects and key moments. Gradual pass filters sweep on all sense. Surface fades into ambient street and engine sounds. Pedal quick, complete. Pedal quick, complete. Accelerating zeros and classic noise rising, increasing pitch. Click, click, click. Short pause before the drop to maximizing the out. Punchy kick with deep, distorted sub bass. Victory is extended to hidden as impression. Punctuate the drop. Strip down to ambient pads and low rumble. Singing that sounds later with an echoing sense. Feel the pedal click. Complete. Kick with deep distorted sub bass. Lead singing that sounds layered with echoing synths. Gonna strip down to ambient pads and low rumble. Singing that sounds layered with echoing sense. Feel the pedal quake. Complete. Complete. Punctuate the drop. And text and hydraulic hiss effects. Sound transparent build and left to right for motion. Voice truck, hoppy done, hoppy move the block for runs. Barrels getting tighter with each bar. Engine revs, sample syncs perfectly with tempo. It's fine and sits, screaming like a turbo at full boost. Gobble that rattles of track car launch, trailing bass loves with aggressive modulation.
Turbo sub bass rumble with engine rev effects. Metallic tires screeching city night ambience. Soft pads rising in pitch creating tension. Whisper vocal RPM storm engaged. Rapid snare rolls increasing in tempo. White voice risers and pitch shifting simple. Storm. Short blocks before the drop for maximum impact. Managing distorted kick with heavy sub bass leads into two ducks layered with growls. The bridge X stereo sweeps and turbo whistle effects. Ambient pads with subtle hi-hats and city night sounds. Rumble maintains tension. Fill the storm. Bass is heavier with added distortion and rhythm control with complexity. Kick and snare patterns intensify. Synth bends dynamically across stereo fields. Turbo blow off and gear shift effects. Push and wait the freeze as a gradual low pass through on all synths.
Rumble in sub-bass mimics revving engines. Metallic effects has reaches and distant traffic ambience. Soft synth pads with rising pitch creating tension. Vocal sound page, engage. Accelerating snare rolls and hi-hat ticks. Rising white noise, sweet built-in anticipation. Vocal chops repeating bass. Short pause before the first drop for maximum impact. Punchy kick layered with deep distorted sub-bass. Punchy kick layered with deep distorted sub-bass. Rising wiser, sweet built-in anticipation. Ancient rev and turbo whistle flicks between phrases. Beat drops out leaving pads and low and rumble wheel the streets. Rising riser sweeps back into the second drop. Bass grows heavier with complex rhythmic patterns. Kick and snare rolls intensify energy. Beat synth bends dynamically across stereo field. Turbo boost effects punctuate key moments. Gradual filter sweep on main synths. Sub-bass fades into city ambience. Street bass rampage complete. Sub-bass that feels like a muscle car engine idling. Filter trap hi-hats ticking like a nitrous per cycle. Mechanical clanks, turbo spool effects building tension. Vocal whisper throttle to the max. Engage range mode. Snare roll speeding up with each measure. Rising pitch siren synth in the background. Engine rev sample tempo. Pitch shifting higher. Sun's eyeless before the drop. Just a single deep breath. Tempo. Heavy kick, distorted bass combo that feels like hitting red line. Creamy mid bass growls layered with metallic screeches. Syncopated drum fills the mimic gear shift. White stereo laser sits scans between bass hits. Breakdown, rock to the max and view. Heavy kick, busted loop with deep reverb. Rapid feeling pad with urban street and release the powerful throttle. For more aggressive bass modulation with added distortion. Top vocal shouts layered into the rhythm. Extra fast hi-hat patterns to push energy higher. Turbo blow off and tires split samples after each 4 bars. Gradual bass filter out as engine sound slows. Final impact hit reverse sweep to end with the bang. Sub-bass rumble like an engine revving. Metallic tire screeches a city night ambience. Filtered synth passing and pitch to build tension. Turbo engage. Rapid snare rolls accelerating in tempo. White noise risers and pitch shift in tempo. Trotted sub-bass growls, lead synths, punchy kick with distorted sub-bass growls. Lead synths, the bridge to bash with sub-bass growls. Lead synths, stereo sweeps and and turbo whistle effects. Engine rev and tire screech effects enhance the street racing vibe. Drops out, leaving ambient pads a low rumble, echoing city sounds and faint engine idling. Whispered vocal, feel the rush. Bass becomes heavier, more distorted and rhythmically complex. Kick and snare patterns intensify energy. Lead synth glides dynamically across the stereo field. Turbo blow off effects punctuate key moments. Gradual low pass filter on all instruments. Sub bass fades into ambient city and turbo rush, turbo rush, turbo rush, turbo rush, rush, rush. Rush, rush, rush. Rush, rush, rush. Bass becomes heavier, more distorted and rhythmically complex. Kick and snare patterns intensify energy. Lead synth glides dynamically across the stereo field. Turbo blow off effects punctuate key moments. Gradual low pass filter on all instruments. Sub bass fades into ambient city engines. Rush, turbo, rush, turbo, rush, turbo, rush, rush, rush. Keep the bass facing like an engine revving. Let silent tire screeches and distant city ambience. Rising synth screen tension. Whispered vocal velocity overdrive page. Rapid snare rolls and layers. Light noise rises, increase in pitch and intensity. Vocal chops, overdrive, overdrive, overdrive. Light noise risers, increase in pitch and intensity. Overdrive, overdrive, overdrive. Short pause before maximum impact. 1-2 kick with deep distorted sub bass. Lazy kick with deep distorted sub bass. Electric stereo sweeps and turbo whistle effects at the racing vibe. Engine revs and gear shift effects and adrenaline. Beat drops out, leaving ambient pads and low rumble. Distant city sounds and faint engine idle, maintain tension. Whispered vocalosity, whispered vocalosity, whispered vocalosity. Feel the velocity. Bass grows heavier, more distorted and rhythmically complex. Kick and snare patterns intensify energy. Lead synth bends dynamically across stereo field. Turbo blow off effects and glitch fill accentuate key moments. Gradual low pass filter sweep on all instruments. Sunday fades into and engine sounds. Overdrive, drive, 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 drive. Overdrive. 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 Light noise risers, increasing pitch and intensity. Vocal chops, overdrive, overdrive, overdrive. Bass grows heavier, more distorted and and rhythmically complex. Kick and snare patterns intensify energy. Lead synth bends dynamically across stereo field. Turbo blow-off effects and glitch fills accentuate key moments. Gradual low pass, filter, sweep on all instruments. Sub-bass fades into ambient street engine sounds. Final city overdrive. 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 Overdrive.
Low sub heavy bass fading like an engine warming up in the dark. Soft synth pads with eerie echoing tones. Faint tires squealing, distant city sounds for atmosphere. Whispered vocal, night drift, begin. Snare rolls accelerate with sidechain risers. Pitch rising synths break tension like approaching the sharp turn. Drift, 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 begin. Drift, 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 drift. Punchy floor on the floor, kick with deep wobble bass. The drift, darker tune plots with aggressive modulation. Glitch effects and stereo sweeps enhance the nighttime streets. Feel subtle turbo whistle and car engine rev effects accentuate the energy. Beat strips down to deep pads and soft hi-hats. Ambient cityscape effects layered with echoing synth notes. Feel the drift. Begin. Bass becomes heavier with added distortion layers. Kick and snare patterns increase in complexity. Lead synth bends and glides across the stereo field. Turbo boost and subtle type screw effects punctuate key moments. Key moments. Feel the drift, begin. Feel the drift. Feel the drift, begin. Bass becomes heavier with added distortion layers. Kick and snare patterns increase in complexity. Begin. Engine revs slow down, fading into silence. Final whispered vocal, night drift, complete. Riff samples sync to the kick drum. Low pass filtered supercell melodies slowly opening up. In the crowd, cheer effects to give a race start vibe. High energy snare rolls increasing speed. Turbo spools panning left to right. Vocal chop repeating track. Bass, pitch rises and synth rising like a rugged car shifting through gears. Car shifting through gears. Working hearts out kick with sidechain sub bass. Aggressive rap melody with distorted mid bass.
bass growls and siren fast, giving urgency and racing energy. Subtle gear shift, effects between 8-bar phrasings. Ambient paths with echoing engine idle sound. Soft melodic bucks in minor key, low rumble to maintain tension. Along with heavier distortion, extra kick punch, like the kick of the burn, an unexpected power surge.
That bass fades in like the engine warming up. Metallic effects, entire scroll sample set the scene. Notes and paths with rising pitch creating tension. Snare roll speeding up with white noise riser. Engine revs into tempo, increasing intensity. Drop. Pull the leads is slowly coming in, building anticipation. Entry form the floor kick with massive distorted bass. Leads and stop on flame, model bass, laser step and snakes, laser snaps, with the wall. Then the bass of rising effects and pitch, growl and distortion, kick and snare and patterns become more complex. Leads and bends dynamically across stereo field, turbo blow off effects punctuate phrases. Gradual low pass filter on all instruments, sub bass fades out, final engine rev echo with distant crowd cheer. Distant crowd cheer. Entry for the floor kick with massive distorted bass. Leads and sharp soft plugs layered with wobble bass. Glitch laser stabs and stereo pad. Hi-hats actuate rhythm. Turbo whistle effects for speed sensation. Beat stripped down, leaving ambient pads and low end rumble. Echo rising tires will sample set the scene. Baseline synthesize with extra growl and distortion. Kick and snare patterns become more complex. Links and bends dynamically across stereo field. Turbo blow off X's punctuate phrases. Picture down, leaving ambient pads and low end rumble. Echo rising flash will set the second drop. Baseline stabs and stereo pads. Hi-hats actual rhythm. Turbo whistle effects for speed sensation. Leaving ambient pads and low end rumble. Turbo night, right. Riser prepares for the second drop. Baseline intensifies, extra crowd and distortion. Kick and snare patterns become more complex. Leads and bends dynamically across stereo field. Turbo blow off effects punctuate phrases. Turbo blow off effects punctuate phrases. Gradual low pass filter on all instruments. So bass, house. Elevator echo with this crowd cheer. Baseline intensifies with extra growl and distortion. Kick and snare patterns become more complex. Lead synth bends dynamically across stereo field. Turbo blow-off effects punctuate phrases. Gradual low-pass filter on all instruments. Sub-bass fades out. Final engine rev.